Well, it's been about a week for a lot of us to start teaching the face-to-face classes remotely because of the coronavirus crisis that's going on right now. And I want to talk about a couple of things about some experiences I've had. Of course, I've been teaching online since I think it was like 2001, I think, something like that. And obviously, the technologies today are a lot more advanced. So a couple of things using Zoom. So basically, I'm doing some content that's synchronous and some content that's asynchronous. So basically, if the class was at 11 o'clock Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I teach the class at 11 o'clock Monday, Wednesday, Friday with synchronous. And part of that is that really does show, and that's probably the closest way to mimic a face-to-face class. So if you're doing a lecture type class, I teach a couple of music appreciation classes and also teach a guitar class, and those are the classes that I teach. I do realize some of the classes may not work that well, but if you're basically talking and you're able to show a PowerPoint presentation or a web page or some of the notes and content, Zoom works great. It works fine. Some of the differences are that when I teach face-to-face, obviously I get feedback from the class. I can look if they understand something. I can get questions immediate. So now, instead of having everybody talk on Zoom, they are chatting. They basically are writing, so now I have to read and I type back. So that's a little bit of different mode of operation. And one thing also for me, I'm adapting to not getting feedback to face-to-face teaching as quick. It's because when I can look at someone's face or see the groups, it's just faster to look at. Some of the students may not have a good enough internet quality to be able to share a video. And when I'm teaching, I don't really have a chance to kind of look out there. When I'm teaching normally, of course, I'm looking out to this audience that's out there and whatnot. So that's one thing that I've over the last week have experienced, and I'm adapting to that now, just using the chat functionality for that as well. Zoom is getting hammered, I guess, by a lot of the institutions that have licensed it, and now it's open for a lot of schools and whatnot like that. And so basically, I gave up recording to the cloud. I recorded locally, then uploaded it to somewhere else and shared the link from that. That way, I have the ability, if I wanted to go later on and edit that or whatever else I need to do, I can put it up there and have control over that link. And it seems to work a lot faster. I recorded some content on Thursday to the cloud. I still don't have a link for it. So that's something that we're kind of adapting to this a little bit as well with that. I've definitely heard some students talk about some of the classes having a lot more work going from the face-to-face class to a remote way of teaching. And I would stress to the teachers out there, think of your class normally and give the same amount of work that you normally gave. So if you gave a test, give the test. I wouldn't make up a busy work, especially at this time right now. Something to think about. Basically, if it's a little bit more, that's one thing. But if it's a lot more just because of you're not able to adapt to this mode of teaching, I would definitely question that and look at that as well. One thing also is, I know a lot of times face-to-face classes are worried about, cheating and cheating on a test. At this point, make the test where they just work no matter where they're at. That's my advice for this semester right here. In the future, you can look at things differently, but right now I know everybody was just kind of thrown into this, so kind of look at that way. Make tests that are just very individualized, either essay-based or randomize the questions, things like that. It can help out tremendously. And also, like this, in communication, of course, is really an important part of this. I posted the links to the Zoom schedule on there. And so far, students have been able to log on to that because they know exactly where it's at. I'm not changing the Zoom rooms. They're constant. So each class has their own phone number, as I call it. And basically, they just call up at the time that we meet face-to-face. And I do realize a lot of students don't have internet or have limited internet. So I'll post the videos online, so whenever they get a chance to get on the internet, they can listen to the content. They can put the stream quality to very low if they needed to on their phones, or let it cache up a little bit and whatnot as well. So I know right now the bandwidth is a big issue. So right now YouTube by default is going to the lowest setting. I think a lot of the other companies like Netflix and things like that are probably thinking of the same thing. And when you make video content, does it need to be the highest resolution? For a long time, I made video content. Probably like half the videos on YouTube out of 5,000 are standard def, or at least I get 2,000 of those videos are standard def. And you can still watch them today, and they're fine. So it doesn't have to be 8K and great. Everything has to be perfect on it. No, it doesn't have to be. Standard def 720 is fine for just a talking head like this. That's fine. You can look at the lecture notes with 720 fine, and even if you go to standard def, that would be fine as well. So these are some thoughts that I've had over the last week of teaching remotely, taking these classes really quickly and taking the face-to-face classes to teach it online. And of course, I've had a lot of experience teaching online classes anyways. But I do realize the students that sign up for these face-to-face classes kind of want that kind of response. So I did ask the classes, how would you like this? Would you like this synchronous or asynchronous? And I got a lot of chimed in from the students say, we want the same class time because it makes it feel like things are basically normal. And I do realize that there are students that don't have the internet ability or computer processing power or whatnot. Although Zoom seems to work pretty decently on the phone as well. So if you get some comments on some things, how did you take your face-to-face class, your classes to make them remote, share them in the notes and in the comments and what like that. And let me know if there's something I can do to help you all out as well. As always, rock and roll, of course, it does compute. If you like this type of amazing content, please subscribe to my YouTube channel because that will totally compute.